First of all, we have the World and the Ace of Swords. So the World came out first. So let's talk about this. Once again, I see your world expanding. I see opportunities coming through for you. So relatively, everything around you has this sense of newness, this sense of magic about it. And I feel for a lot of you, you've been in a rut for quite some time, in all aspects of your life. And I feel like it could be a job. It could be like, trying to find work unsuccessfully. It could be a state of like very low vibration in which you don't feel abundant. And a lot of you have recently regained control back into your life via new jobs, via cutting ties with bad, unhealthy, toxic relationships, changing your environment, implementing some type of move. And I feel literally like you're picking yourself up by your own bootstraps, and you're taking a stance like, I'm not going to play the victim card anymore, and I'm going to take charge and create the life that I want. So I feel like a lot of you have been in a situation where your freedom was restricted. And I feel almost like, within the past year, and I'm sorry to say this, I feel like for some of you, you might have felt like you hit rock bottom. And it might have taken about, 8 months time for you to build yourself up again. And at this point, you're ascending higher and higher, and you're starting to reflect on this situation. And you're just like, I'm not ever going to put myself back in that type of a situation. So there is some truths coming to light. And when I see this card with the World, it indicates to me some type of a universal truth. Okay. When it's a standalone card, it means like information, truths coming about other people. This is about truths about ourselves. This is truths about humanity. This is truths that, they're universal truths across all cultures, across all people. The truth is the truth. And I do feel a lot of you are feeling very, very empowered by this truth that you're at a good point and you're not going to be able to take your life for granted anymore. I feel like almost that element of time is ticking. You have in the past basically been stalled or lived like under the command, under the control of somebody else, and now you're breaking free. And I do feel that the universe is telling you that this is just the beginning. Okay, you're breaking free. You're emerging from this little pod that has really held you back in cultivating all your skills and your potential. So I feel a lot of like breaking away, a lot of severing ties that might have happened the end of July, or at least it's happened very, very early on in this month. And I feel for a lot of you, it's going to come about as hard lessons. So let me just say, if you have scrapped away dead end relationships, specifically dead end jobs, dead end relationships in July, you're going to have a very good month. I do sense that, okay? If you're still debating and dragging your feet, I'm doing this reading on the 23rd, I believe. Yeah, it's the 23rd today. If you have implemented this move in July, I feel that life's going to be a lot easier to handle in August. If you haven't implemented this move and you are still waiting until the end of August, or you're not going to plan to make any type of breakages or, shut some doors, shut some people out from your life, shut some circumstances from your life, I do feel August is going to be a challenging month. I'm publishing this video early mainly because I've been feeling this energy for Sagittarius, where I feel like August time, when the sun is in Leo, you are going to have to re-examine where you stand, what you need, okay? The Leo energy is all about like protection, pride, family, and what we need in order to fulfill our ego. So I feel like it's not a very other oriented type of month, but problems can come in from other people to you and affect you in a very profound way. So I'm hoping that you watch this early. If it resonates with you, that you make some changes, because I do feel we have some hard, heavy hitters here, and there's no way for me to sugarcoat it. Okay, so just if something's not working, make some changes. Make some changes right now. All right, and start August in a fresh light. Okay. So the second set of cards, we have here the King of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. So I'm going to say this because this person keeps coming back in for all of your readings. And let me just talk about this person as a romantic interest, okay? Or like somebody that you've been dealing with. I feel there is a person in your life. It could potentially be an earth sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is somebody who is very financially established. They are in a position of authority, of power. And I feel like they have a lot to offer in terms of like in a material, in a financial, in a material, in a physical way. They have a lot to offer. I do feel somebody who is quite charming as well. However, the card that it's coupled up with in this deck is the denial card, okay? This is a situation where your intuition, the moon in the background, is screaming to you, there's something fishy about this person. And you're just like, no, but you know, look at all the blessings that come their way. Look at what they're giving me, or look at what they're bringing onto the table. And the cards are saying that basically what you see is not what you get. You're only seeing what you want to see, and you're not listening to your higher guides, your intuition. So please be very, very careful about this. I feel a lot of you might have shut some doors on some people, and I feel like, you know, once again, they are scratching at that door. They are like tapping at it, trying to get you back. And I feel like this is a last ditch attempt to try to do something to appease you. And they had that whole stretch of time, that very long time period, in order to do that. So, you know, miracles actually don't happen overnight. It requires work. It requires consistency. And for any type of an interpersonal relationship to work, both parties have to try and uphold their end of the bargain. If this is a last ditch attempt, then you know when they come back into your life, the same pattern is going to repeat. So take it for what it is. This situation is not going to turn around, okay? On the other hand, I feel like the Pentacles suit, I do feel, you know, job interviews and things like that with you, and potentially a job offer that you are contemplating, mainly because it might involve some type of a home move, okay, like a physical move. A lot of signs are getting job interviews, getting job offers and things like that. And I do sense that if it's not a person, and especially somebody from the past, then I definitely feel it coming through as a job offer as well. It could be potentially a new love interest, but I'm going to look at your love spread in a little bit. So I want to keep this strictly on a professional, on an interpersonal relationship type of a, to keep it in alignment with those energies, okay, rather than love. But if this sounds familiar, it's somebody that like keeps reemerging, and empty promises is what I'm feeling. Empty promises. And I feel like Sagittarius, a lot of you need to like take off those rose-colored glasses. I do sense there is so much intuitive messages. Heightened intuition is coming through. And I feel like whoever it is that I mentioned, you know, that has passed on, that is trying to give you insights, they're giving you insights because they feel like you need it. Okay, like you're not listening to your intuition, and you're not being careful enough, and you're not being firm enough in your resolve. So take that message for what it is. Don't let somebody, you know, come back at the last minute and tell you they're going to change. That's not going to work, okay? On the other hand, I do feel here, we do have, once again, the High Priestess, which is heightened intuition. And we do have the Six of Swords. And both of these things tell me that you can belong in two camps, okay? The first camp are the people that have just like implemented moves, or if you're watching this and you're just like, okay, this sounds familiar, I need to do something by closing some doors. And your intuition is also telling you, yes, you should have closed these doors like, you know, 6 months ago, for example. I feel 6 months as well. 6 months ago, you should have closed some doors, like at the start of the new year. And you're going to move on and you're going to be in a place of calmness, tranquility, without a lot of disruption in your life. And travel is going to be facilitated, okay? When I see this person, I feel like it's somebody who is almost like a refugee. They've been through a lot in their past and they're taking all the knowledge with them into the present, which means that they're learning from past mistakes and they know how to stabilize their lives. They know they have incorporated those important life lessons into their future so that they don't get themselves in hurt again. For others of you who are still like not heeding the intuition and still, clinging on for something for dear life, I do sense what's going to happen here is we have you with the tower, ending with the tower. So you definitely can change this. You definitely can change it, okay? But I do sense that you have pretty much the first week of August to make some major life move, and don't dither, don't dilly-dally on this decision. And especially, I feel like the universe is forcing you to make a decision on your own. It seems like that to me. It seems like financial assets being halved, like cut in half, as a result of somebody else. Okay, so it's not an other oriented type of a month. And I feel like breakdown in a foundation, in a home environment, in a financial situation as a result of conflict with another person. All of this leads me to believe that the universe really wants you to be on your own and to make these decisions on your own. You definitely can bounce ideas off, other people, but ultimately, if you're choosing between two things, such as, should I go back to my old job? Answer is no. Should I go back to my former lover? The answer is not going to be a yes, because I feel like your intuition is telling you this is not the way, you're going on the wrong path. And then when your intuition is telling you these things and you're still progressing and ignoring it, then the divine intervention has to happen, which is spirit guides have to intervene, okay? And they're giving you like bigger warning signs. And I feel that Sagittarius, honestly, a lot of you, you're, like I mentioned, you're a very lucky sign. You're ruled by the planet Jupiter, which deals with expansion and luck. And a lot of times, you guys really push your luck, and you have some very strong protection, but you do tend to push your luck. You tend to like wing things. Like you just you feel like, oh, you get frustrated easily when you have to sit and do some kind of detail oriented thing, such as studying, such as like itemizing, budgeting, and all of these things. You get very overwhelmed and you're just like, I'll just wing it. And when you get frustrated, you tend to wing things. You tend to like jump in first, ask questions later. It's telling you to take more of a systematic approach and a more rational approach. So if you find yourself frustrated, just know whatever it is that you're frustrated with, like if it's something that you have to do, budgeting your expenses, doing some internet searches to find like the cheapest price for something, that's not something that you want to do. I feel like you actually have to do it because, like I said, Saturn is transiting your sign. It's a karmic planet. It's also like the taskmaster. So whatever you feel like you don't want to do, you're actually going to have to, buckle down and unfortunately get through it. In the process of getting through it, you're going to realize, wow, I'm a master at this. It wasn't so bad. In your head, it feels really bad. Emotionally, you feel like I would rather, I would rather be doing something else. But once you get through it, you realize, wow, I'm actually learning a lot of stuff as a result of like sitting down and really working through this. So I feel a a lot of knowledge is coming through as a result of you forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do in the past, that you know is good for you, but you didn't want to do it, and you shied away from it, and you made mountains out of molehills, and you made it into this, um, into this like daunting monster that you could never confront, that you could never face. And you feel like it was draining the life out of you. So you made it out of fear, out of like just hatred, out of just the aversion for not doing something, some certain specific task, something that you were just, passively sweeping under the rug. I feel like it's coming back, and it needs to be re-examined. And it's not that bad. In your head, it seems really daunting. It seems really complex. It seems really like, it seems like a mountain, like standing at a base and looking up at a mountain, and it seemed like just unfathomable. Like you just don't know how you're going to tackle this problem. But it's not so bad. Once you actually get yourself to do it, you're going to be really proud of yourself, and you're going to realize that it's actually not bad at all. So get yourself to the point where you think like that, Sagittarius, okay? Get yourself to that point. And I feel that it's going to do wonders for you. The way you look at yourself, the way that you can empower yourself, like after years of ignoring something, sweeping it under the rug, and then finally, out of your own free will this month, you're going to confront it, you're going to tackle it, and you're going to move on from it. And it's going to feel very liberating and very empowering. And I feel like this massive burden just lifted off your chest, okay? I do feel it coming in very strongly the first week. If this sounds familiar to you, whatever that is, take care of it, okay? So, in terms of the last cluster here, did I talk? Yeah, I talked about both. In terms of the last cluster here, we do have the Tower and the Nine of Swords. The Tower is a situation where I feel like a lot of you are getting new messages, new information that is coming through greatly this month. And we do have an eclipse too, and I believe it's in the sign of Aquarius. We have some major things that are unraveling, that are dismantling, things that have been built on false promises, faulty foundation, things that have been swept under the rug, like I said, are like basically being brought up in a very unpleasant way for you to re-examine, okay? And what I'm sensing here is you have I feel like the first 2 weeks realistically, but I wouldn't push it past the first week, to take care of these issues, to, close some doors if you need to, make up your mind, implement something. And especially if there's a job coming through and you're dragging your feet and not sure which direction to go, you have to somehow arrive at a decision, okay? I see that you're looking at things, and you're still, there's a lot of foot dragging coming through. I don't see movement happening for a lot of you, which means that, if the longer you wait, the more difficult the move is going to be for you. For those of you who are moving house, moving homes, selling a property and things like that, I do feel there is some distress coming through, or even just stress coming through, okay? And I do feel, I'm going to actually pull out another card. I feel like it might be home, family related, but I do want to pull out another card. So what areas do they need to focus on? What areas is this Tower card coming through as? Because you've got some rough cards, so I just want to clarify. For others of you, I do sense that overall it is health issues, okay? So possibly, I'm feeling like some type of chronic pain, chronic aches, and you're going in for diagnoses and things like that. And you realize, the amount that's required to take care of it might be outside of your price range, might be outside of your budget, but you feel like this is not a cosmetic procedure. It might be something a little bit more. In terms of your mental health, something in your life has been causing a lot of distress, and it's really affecting your mental health as well. Emotional health, physical health, mental health are coming in very strongly here with the Tower card and the Nine of Swords. So take care of yourself, and take proper care of yourself. Take proper precautions so that you do not let somebody else, especially in your external environment, affect you on an emotional level, okay? So keep yourself grounded. Stay ahead of the game. Stay ahead of the game. Um, Confrontations are not recommended for this month. Even if you find some, really, really juicy details, information about somebody, and you're just like, I'm going to confront them with this, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind, I would advise you not to do that, especially for this month. I feel like the energy is not conducive for, dealing with another person, and especially in a volatile way. So I do feel a lot of information are coming to light, but it seems like you're getting like little warning signs here and there, right? And then by the second week, bigger warning signs. And then by the end of the month, it's going to come to light. It's going to emerge, and it's going to be irreparable, because once the tower breaks down, you can't really build it back up, nor should you. It means change the location, build up something else from the ground up, and make sure it's stable. So learning from our past, not repeating the same lessons, breaking out of this cyclical pattern where there's this constant back and forth between you and another person, and getting yourself into a situation where you have that freedom of mobility, where you're not constrained financially via another person. You're not constrained geographically via another person. It's going to be required of you. Okay. So having said that, let me go into your advice cards. So we have the King of Swords and the Three of Wands. First of all, I'm getting this message here. Sagittarius, for those of you who are jumping, I feel like you're not cheating, but you're breaking away from one relationship and you're like jumping right into another. I don't advise it. I don't advise it. I feel like if you are planning to do that, so like, breaking up with some person and then traveling and then moving in together with another person, like seamlessly, it's not going to work out in your favor. Okay. That was a really strong message that came through. And I feel like this was like right under the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles and then the King of Swords. It seems like transitioning seamlessly from one person to the next. And what's going to happen is we do have, once again, like the same issues. So it's like you're trading the same person for somebody. They might be physically different people. And I feel like in some cases they are different people. But it's the same person. It's the same karmic lesson. It's the same energies that I'm feeling in, that I'm seeing here. The first person is a very unstable, very unhealthy relationship where two people cannot build a life and a future together.